What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines, and we're excited about today's episode because we're going to talk about our NBA playoff early predictions. Now, these predictions are based off of roster construction only, and we're going to give you guys where we believe these teams will place or seed in each conference. Let's get into it.
Okay, now I think we should start with the Western Conference, seeming as though we are on the West Coast, yo.
West Coast, the best coast.
Hey, let's start with the West Coast. All right,
Okay,
so coming in at number one, I have the Golden State Warriors. Yes, I do. Even without Klay Thompson, I have Steph, Draymond Green, and James Wiseman pulling it on home. Yep.
Okay. My number one is actually the Lakers. I believe the Lakers because, again, of AD and LeBron, and I think they will run it back. And even though they lost crucial pieces to their roster, and I say that in Rondo and Dwight Howard, those two pieces for me really kind of changed their roster makeup. But I believe with AD at his healthiest and LeBron, they should be okay. So I still have them as number one, number one in the West.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So for number two, I have the Los Angeles Lakers because they have a lot of pride. And a lot of people are saying that, the bubble, it has an asterisk. So they're going to really try to get a real chip this time. Because I'm one who say that they have an asterisk. So they're going to try to prove to all of us that they can do it, outside of the bubble.
Okay. That's fair. I have Golden State Warriors for number two.
Okay.
And I say them for number two because Steph Curry has not played in like 282 days. So there is still going to be something to their roster that's going to be new for them. Although Steph and Draymond have played for years without Klay, who is like the missing puzzle piece to their roster. Klay is going to be Klay not being there, and although they've added Kelly Oubre, that's great, but they don't have Klay. So I still think the Golden State Warriors will give teams in the Western Conference a run for their money, but I don't know if I can rate them right now without seeing them play, because I haven't seen Steph play in a while, and I doubt he lost any of his skills, but I rate them right now number two.
Okay. All right. For number three, I have the Los Angeles Clippers.
Me too. I have the Clippers at number three too. Although I'm betting on their embarrassment to drive them to success, right? So the fact that they fumbled in the bubble for last season, I believe that is enough. And also their new coach, Ty Lue, the fact that he has something to prove. How do you sit next to the head coach and then take the head coach's job? For me, he has to create a culture and in the continuity of that team. If he can fix that and lead them to the third seed in the Western Conference, then I think that'd be great. So for me, I think that's it.
Okay. And I'm putting all my hope into Paul George. He just signed this extension and he has a lot to prove. I mean, Paul George has been the butt of all jokes here lately, and he has to earn it. I mean, they just signed him to what, $190 million extension?
$226 million over 5 years. Combined total.
Unbelievable. No, they have to. Paul George said he owes the Clippers a championship, but unfortunately, they're going to be in the third seed in the West.
I don't see it. If Kawhi doesn't show up, they're not making it. So
okay,
all right. With Paul George. Okay, so three. I have them at three.
Okay, for number four, I have the Portland Trail Blazers. My guys, Dame and CJ, Carmelo, the second coming of Carmelo Anthony. We got a healthy Yusef Nurkic. Gary Trent Jr. No. Portland at number four for me.
Nurkic was missing last season. Yeah. He did come in, I think, at the end of the bubble. But Nurkic is fair, but I don't have them as number four. I have the Mavericks as number four. Something about that Luka and Porzingis combination. Now, Porzingis, he was injured in the bubble, I believe that they could have actually went further had he had not been injured. So I am banking on that lineup again to be something to reckon with. And so I have the Mavs at number 4.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I have the Mavs at number 5 in the West. Yeah. They are exciting to watch.
So number 5, I have the Nuggets. I have the Nuggets because I really, really do like Jamal Murray and Joker. And I think that their combination is going to be great as well. Again, this is just roster makeup. We'll see how it goes, but I have them at number 5.
They got rid of Jeremy Grant, and that's a key piece.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. Coming in at number 6, I have, the won't bow down New Orleans Pelicans.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
I had the Pelicans at number 6 as well. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, Zion with his new physique, Brandon Ingram with his incredible talent and extension, and then Lonzo, this is his year to prove that he belongs. Josh Hart. I mean, they just have a good roster.
They have a very good roster. I trust their coach if he can do it again. Okay, but watch that video. So I think that this year the Pelicans will actually be very good, and Zion gets a chance to play the full season, right? Mm-hmm. So if you imagine Zion putting up the numbers he put up with his short the small number of games he played in the previous season to now double that, for the upcoming season is going to be amazing. So I believe that, and they also added Steven Adams to kind of help complement Zion, especially in the paint. Ooh, it's going to be exciting. Now, granted, Adams doesn't shoot, but I don't need him to shoot. I don't need him to do that. I have Brandon Ingram. We have Zion, Lonzo Ball when he is hot. So I just need for Steven Adams to master that pick and roll that he does. And I think that's going to be great for them. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. Number 7, I have the Denver Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
They have to prove that last year was not a fluke.
That's fair.
They're number 7. So that means that they will be in the play-in tournament again, but we'll have to see. I mean, they knocked off the Clippers. I think they have a big target on their back this year.
Yeah.
And between Jamal and Joker and Gary Harris, I think they're ready.
Okay. All right. Number 7, I have the Portland Trail Blazers.
What? Don't disrespect Dame like that.
He's still a part of the playoffs, far be it the play-in, like last season. I don't, Dame is logo Dame. I mean, hey, he 35-foot 3-point shot, and that's fine. For me, they lack the ability to close out playoff games. And so unless something changes when the season begins for them, I have them at number 7, and they're going to have to fight their way into the playoffs again this year. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Dame and CJ's pairing is enough, even with the pieces.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll see.
We'll see. Number 8, I have the Phoenix Suns. Devin and DeAndre and Chris Paul and Jay Crowder. They're ready to really make some noise in the West.
I have the Jazz. Yes, Jazz dropped all the way down. Donovan Mitchell, he has something to prove. The way he went out in the bubble, I don't believe he will allow it to happen again. They will have to work for it because, again, with Rudy Gobert and Mike Conley, they're not a bad team, but the Jazz, I have them at number 8. If they make it, great. If they don't, I believe they're far better than the other teams I'm going to mention and those that don't make it. But I have them at number 8.
They won't. At number 9, I have Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies.
Okay.
You see, last year, Jackson Jr. was out injured, and he was their second leading scorer. He's the second best player. And Ja Morant, exciting to watch. They're definitely going to make it to the play-in. So I have them at number 9.
I was torn. I was torn between the Grizzlies being at number 9 and the Rockets. And I only say the Rockets. Rockets for me are a question mark because as of this recording, we don't know where Harden is going to be. So if Harden stays with the Rockets, I have the Rockets at number 9. Because I still believe that James Harden, along with John Wall and
Boogie,
can at least make a plan. I do believe that. So I have them at number 9. Although I am struggling at that because I do like John Morant and the Grizzlies. So, but I have the Rockets right now. But it's a question mark for me. Again, I will remove the Rockets in a heartbeat if Harden goes somewhere else. Then I'm gonna slide in the Grizzlies right there. So it's something for me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Number 10, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves at D-Lo and the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. Timberwolves, number 10 in the West.
D-Lo, Cat, yes. That number 1 draft pick. Okay, so then hey, again, we'll see. We'll see him playing at this level. I don't have Timberwolves on my list at all. Who I have at number 10 are the Suns. I know. I don't know. They're going to have to prove, the Suns will have to prove it to me that they are ready to be in the playoffs. Based on their history and the fact that they have a experienced point guard in Chris Paul and Jay Crowder, it's just not enough. Although Devin Booker is phenomenal, right? I need Ayton to show up and their other pieces. And so right now I have them at number 10. So I have them making the play-in tournament. And if they perform the way they performed in the bubble, then they'll be in the playoffs. But I do have them at number 10.
Okay. All right. So for me, I have OKC, Utah, Sacramento. Oh, it was hard not to include Sacramento.
I know what I know.
Yeah. I have Houston and the Spurs not making the cut at all.
Who? Spurs? Again. Yeah. For me, they're not even on the radar. Are they playing this? Anyway.
Yeah.
And only OKC because I don't know who's on their roster.
A bunch of draft picks. They have paper on their roster.
Paper. Oh, that's funny. OKC has paper on their roster.
They got paper.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, so I'm okay with those teams. Yeah. So we have only team I don't have is the Grizzlies.
And
you don't have the Rockets.
No, I think there's going to be so much turmoil with James Harden. Should he stay? Without James Harden, they don't have enough. But then it depends who they get for James Harden. It's just a big question mark. They got a new coach in Silas. I don't have any faith in them this year.
Okay, that's fair.
So moving into the Eastern Conference. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you drop down in the comments and let us know, where do you have your favorite teams landing in the West and in the Eastern Conference? We will see you guys on the next one. But until then, peace, y'all.